Wake up and smell the coffee, Mr. LaRusso.
Extreme situations require extreme measures.
Yo guys, welcome to Cobra Kai Karate. Welcome back to a brand new video. And guys, today we're talking about the new MCU Marvel movie, Thunderbolts. There's getting a lot of buzz recently about it being a great movie. It saves MCU, all this stuff. And I'll be honest, I was not interested in this movie at all. I really had no, interest. Like, I really didn't care too much of the characters, to be honest. And the story, from what I've heard, sounded alright. But as the story and more trailers started to come out, and obviously the buzz, I thought, let's go check out this movie and see how it is. And I hear kind of two-sided story. I hear some people say, oh, it's boring, overrated, blah blah blah. Then I hear people say it's great, saved MCU. It's doing very good on the ratings. It's doing solid in the box office. So here we are to talk about it, give my honest review on Thunderbolts. So I'll say this, I really do like the concept of the movie, of these people that had a rough life, a dark past, and are kind of rejects of being heroes. Maybe they wanted to be a hero, but they just failed over and over again. Other people that should not be heroes, but they come together and they do what's necessary to be the hero and kind of save New York in a sense. So I think that was really good. I think the acting was done very well. I thought the second half of the movie was done really well. I think probably the best part of the movie was the action. The action scenes were just done very, very, very well. I really enjoyed it. It was really entertaining. Those are kind of the good stuff. So just to start from the ground, one of the things I do not like, and then we'll move to things I do like. The bad things from this movie to me is I think the first half is just not really interesting. I find it pretty boring. It seems like it's stalling. The plot's really slow and not intriguing. Outside of that, I think there's a couple pacing issues with the characters, because here's the thing, I think character arcs are cool and nice and solid. I just don't think they collide well with the actual story. Like, the story's moving one thing, and the story's really straightforward. It's really this girl trying to cover herself, try to not get in trouble, and she goes to kill these people. They come together, they team up. There's this guy Bob, or Robert. He becomes like some super villain guy that she was going to use, and then they have to go save him, and then they become the new Avengers. That's basically it. And the problem is, when all these character arcs are like their dark paths, and they're trying to make these character arcs all collide to well, I don't think it actually is in line with the story. I feel like they're kind of budging with each other, like in and out of the story. Like, there's some scenes that just seem like it shouldn't even be inside the story, but it is there because of the arcs, to keep moving their arcs forward. That just seemed a little unbalanced. Aside of that, like I said, the pacing is just not good with the characters. Like, Bucky is really, like, he's really just in and out of the movie. He almost felt like he had no purpose in this movie. He didn't have like any arc this movie. He had no emotional change, nothing like that. And that's really all I have to say about the negative. Like I said, just the first half was just not really good. Or I wouldn't say it's not good, it's just not really interesting or really intriguing to watch. And the stuff I do really like from this movie, the only problem with I'm gonna talk about what I like a little bit, but the only problem with the stuff I like, I just don't think they exactly go as deep as I want them to go on it. For example, like the feeling of loss and trauma and dealing with that, and also them kind of just wanting to be a superhero, wanting to do that, but they don't want to admit they want it, they don't think they deserve it, but they really do want it. Those feelings, I don't think they show that as much. They don't really explore their trauma as much. They do a little bit in like the way they talk, they act, and like a couple of the void scenes or whatever. But outside of that, they're just kind of always on a mission doing something. You don't really get a moment to sit back and have them explore and actually really see their wants and not wants and really explore their characters. They don't really do that. I understand that it's kind of hard to do that when it is kind of an action superhero movie, but I feel like when you're playing both sides and you're just teasing me for what I want, that's a little frustrating. But onto the things I like, it is exactly that. Not to that extent, but I mean, like, I really like the concept of people that are just broken down and trying to come together and trying to be a superhero. Although I don't think they necessarily did it as much as I wanted them to, I think with what they explored was done very, very well. It was very neutral, very well done. The acting dialogue was done very well in the second half. I think the Bob or Robert character was really cool. When he turned into that villain, he's avoiding everyone. Those scenes were really epic. He was really intimidating villain. I thought the whole sequence and the tension building and them going through this void and looking at all their trauma, it was just done very, very well. One thing I will say, this is not practical to what I don't like, but one thing that, it's not even something I don't really necessarily do not like, it's just something that was a little interesting, that I'm kind of confused about. The Taskmaster just gets killed right away in the opening of the movie, which I was a little disappointing because I really like Taskmaster and the games and the animated shows I watched of it. But then they completely do a butcher of the character inside Black Widow, and I thought, okay, maybe they can try to change it this one, but then she gets killed right in the opening, so I thought that was just a little weird. It's just kind of a pathetic way of to present that character they've done in Black Widow and this movie. It's just really disappointing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this movie. I think it had great moments. It is a lot more fluent, a lot more well done than most MCU movies, and I think you are going to enjoy yourself with this movie, but it's not necessarily a movie that I think I watch it and I'm like, wow, that was a great movie, or wow, this was great. It just doesn't really reach that extent people are trying to say it is to me. I think it is just an alright movie for what great movies are. Like in modern day movies and modern day MCU, this is looked at as like peak cinema, but if you're really taking a step back and looking back at all the movies in every world has ever made and all the movies you've seen, this is not going to be one of those that's battling up there with some of the greats. I just do not think it's as good as people are saying it is, but I also would flip back and say people that are saying negatively about it, saying, oh, it's so overrated, it's so boring. I would say it's not. I think it explores a lot of cool themes, a lot of cool arcs with cool characters, amazing action, amazing theme, and I think it does that very, very well. So to end off this review, I will just talk about the end credit scenes. Obviously, we see Fantastic Four, and this can be leading into the whole thing with their movie, and then soon Avengers Doomsday. It's going to be multiverse insaneness once again. I'm curious to see if they will explore the whole void in later on in the Marvel, or I also am interested to see where these characters will go, because now they're the new Avengers. Although they haven't really had too much scenes together, I feel like a lot of their scenes are just always action. They're not actually like growing as like chemistry and friends or a team, especially Bucky. Like Bucky was just like did not feel like anything in this movie. That was really frustrating. So I think this movie didn't really accomplish, like, I think about like Guardian of the Galaxy, like that movie, you grew with those characters the whole movie, and those characters are a group, and they all understand each other, and they're all great, and they're ready to go. But this movie, I feel like they were just all on their own individual arcs, which was kind of in and out of the story, and they all were just side by side, not really connected. So I feel like them as a team is still kind of not there. So we'll see how that leads to. But like I said, that's really not the problem. That's not really a problem with the movie. Like, this movie does not have to make them a team. It's just when you're labeling the new Avengers, and that's going to be probably their role later in the MCU, it's kind of like, you probably should have done a little bit more there to grow their team chemistry. But that's all I got to tell this movie, guys. To give it 1 out of 10, I'll give it a 7.7. There's my graph right there. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, I still think MCU is just not to where I want it to be, but I think you will enjoy yourself in theater, especially the second act. I feel like the story and plot's a lot more gripping, the characters are a lot more interesting to see where they go and what they do and the decisions they make, and the action will always keep you gripped, especially with the Robert villain. What was his name again? I don't remember which his like superhero name was, but when he turns evil, it's really, really cool. But anyway, thanks for watching this review, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about Thunderbolts in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Always remember, extreme measures. Peace out.